I'm gonna tell you a story about when Mobutu tried to kill my grandpa. Yeah. So you have to understand who are the different so this was my grandpa, right? But it's more complicated than that. He was the first governor of the Bank of Congo. And he was not my mom's father, but he adopted her. My mom's father was a Portuguese, he was mixed Portuguese, yeah. But back before the independence of Zaire, there was this group of people. They were called the Binza Club. Binza is where I grew up. Is the neighborhood in Kinshasa that I always represent. And so it was like a group of Congolese young people that studied abroad, that had all these revolutionary ideas. They were for the independence, and they were all friends, young. You know, they had their thing going on, money, etc. So the protagonists of this story are Catherine, who's my grandma. And she's the mother of my mother, who's named Catherine as well. Actually, my daughter is also named Katarina. You have Albert, who was about to become my grandma's husband. And you had Joseph, who's also part of this club of Congolese high-level society. And Joseph is about to become Mobutu. And all these people, and you have more. You have Dokolo. You have Seti, who's my uncle. You have all these people. They're still young intellectuals, intelligent people. They don't know yet that they are about to witness independence, and that they are also about to run this country. And Joseph, who already has his, I don't know if he had his wife already at that time, but he loves Catherine. He really loves her. He wants to be with her. He's into her. He's always like, yo, listen. And at that time, my grandma, she works at the American Embassy. So yeah, listen, she's doing her thing. She makes her money. She's high level. I think I don't know if she's still with my biological grandpa or if they divorced already. I don't have all the details. I didn't ask my mom because the story was so captivating for me. But at that point, she is rich, and Joseph is also, army guy, etc. And Albert is also a banker, and all these people are a club. People know them as Le Club de Mbinza. And they're all friends, they're all intellectual, they all think about the future of the country, what they're gonna do. And bummer for Joseph. Catherine, my grandma, chooses Albert Ndele to become her husband. But hey, they're still friends. So at that time, my mom is around, I don't know, 6-7 years old. So she's always there too. She's, she's like my daughter right now. She's around, and whenever she's with my mom, she's with these people. So she, Mobutu he's there young, etc., etc. And then time goes by. I don't know exactly how long is the jump because I didn't ask my mom, but maybe by the time my mom is, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, Joseph is now running the country. He's now Mobutu. And my grandma's husband adopts my mom. So my mom and her little sister. So those were the Portuguese daughters of my grandma, because after that they had the rest of their kids. And so, they all live together. And so my grandpa at the time, I don't know if I have I know I found this one day, but on the Congolese money, I don't know if I can find a banknote. But anyway, on a banknote from Zaire at the point, the signature that you had on the banknote on Zaire's was my grandfather's signature, because he was that guy, right? So that is him. So he was at the central bank, let's say, yeah. This was between 61 and 70. He was the governor of the central, that's my grandpa. He was the governor of the central bank in Congo, right? So he was very, very, very rich. And Mobutu was very rich as well. Was married to now, but he still wanted Catherine. But she was with his boy. Well, he was trying. And my grandma was always like, yo, stop with your bullshit. Then, as time goes by, my mother now lives so she's like 15, and she now lives in Paris in a huge apartment. And yeah, listen, my grandpa is, yeah, taking her to the best schools. She's living the life of a rich, at that time, of rich African kids from governing people. And that's when people are starting to tell Mobutu that Ndele, my grandpa, is richer than you. And he's richer than you. And he has enough money to overthrow you. So now people are starting to feel away. And you know how it was. I mean, you know how it is when there's people starting to have too much money, too much power. They start, and these people know each other forever. But that's the first time my grandpa gets arrested by his old friend. Or they invent something. De Gaulle dies. That's exactly what happened. De Gaulle dies. French liberator. The great De Gaulle dies. And yeah, they pretend that my grandpa didn't want to go, so he didn't want to go to represent the country. That's why they arrest him. And the goal is to arrest him and eliminate him or something. So my grandma goes to her old friend Joseph, and she's like, "The fuck you doing? Can you leave my husband alone?" And at that point, Joseph is like, "Yo, I still want you." And my grandma is like, "Cut the bullshit and let him go." Like, what are you doing? Power is getting to your head. And at that point, they let him go. They let him go. So my mother told me at that point she's 15 or something. Now, time continues to go by, and my grandpa is getting richer and richer. And so we're in the 70s probably. And yeah, we're in the 70s. End of the 60s or early 70s. This is when they decide. No, my grandma and Papi, as my mom calls him, Albert, they divorce. They get a divorce and they go their separate ways. So Mobutu tries again with my grandma. Listen, the guy is married, but hey, listen, power. He tries again with my grandma. He's like, "Yo, you guys are not together anymore. It's my turn." And she's like, "Shh, bro, enough." And I don't know if he's furious. Listen, I don't know. At that time, I was not there. But the advisors, the people in your head when you're powerful, they start telling him, "Yo, you know that this guy is really getting powerful. Ndele is starting to be way too powerful. And he's richer than you, bro. How are you gonna let somebody be richer than you?" And that's when they decide to eliminate my grandpa. And you know how they do it. Usually they find a way to catch you, put you in a jail somewhere, poison you, and you out. And the day that they try, I mean, they are organizing, they're getting ready to do it, right? And somebody else who was about to be, it was supposed to be, it was one of the first doctors from Congo, Mr. Kabamba, decides that, he hears the rumors that this guy is about to be eliminated, but that's his friend too, because they're all from the circle. So imagine we're all friends in our 20s. Now we are our 45s, 40s, and we all rich. But one of us became a king, and he doesn't want nobody to be richer than him or whatever. Or maybe the people around him are telling him, this guy might be dangerous. We have to eliminate him. So this other guy who's about to become the Secretary of State of Health, but for now he's just the most famous doctor in Congo. He's like, he goes to my grandpa and he tells my grandpa, bro, listen to me clearly. I have here a paper that says that you are very sick. And my grandpa is like, but I'm not. Bro, you are very sick. And we need to take you in a private plane out of the country today. Right now, tonight. You go into Belgium to go at the hospital, eat some serious stuff, whatever. I'm the doctor. I'm signing everything. You have to leave now. My grandfather understands that if his boy comes and say, our boy, he's not saying our boy is about to eliminate you, but they're coming for you. So my bro, you are sick, okay? You have a very, very bad illness, and we are taking you out of the country to go to Belgium right now. And once you get there, you're going to be protected. So my grandfather goes to my mom and tells her, hey, princess, I won't be seeing you for the foreseeable future. But don't worry, it's all right. And disappears. Private jet, out to Belgium. Far from, and so. And that's how my grandfather got saved from assassination. Now, of course, the secret services or whoever, the people, they understand that somebody helped him get away from our clutch. And that's how the guy who helped him go away as a punition, right? That's him. Is it him? Wait. No, that's not him. Wait. Is it? No, that's not him. I'm not sure. I have to ask my friend for his because at a point, all right, they decide as a punition, right, to send him to the United Nations instead of putting him in the post that he was supposed to have as a minister for the Congolese government. He was supposed to be the first health minister of the Mobutu government, and he ends up being sent as a punition to the UN, and he ends up just being there at the UN, representing Congo at the UN, and then as a doctor, and then he retires in Miami, where he is still right now. He's in Miami. So after that, my grandpa stays in Belgium, where he actually died in April last year. That's when he passed. Last year, I remember I did a video about that. So after that, no, I'm not going to do an hour. After that, you would think that either way, Mobutu has his situations. My grandma is now divorced and alone, and she's, taking care of my mom and stuff. My mom is around 16, 17 or 18, I'm not sure. And normally the story is over. He's not here. He's all right, cool. But he's still trying to be with Catherine, my grandma. But she's like, yo, listen, forget about this. We are friends. All right? Let's be friends, bro. Now, imagine that. What up, Shaz? Imagine that at that time, Mobutu has his chief of security, man of the director of the ANR, which is like, I don't know, Congolese FBI or CIA, I don't know, like the security, like, and this guy is actually my father. Here he is. Wait a minute. Here he is with Thomas Sankara. That's my dad. So at that point, he's the one preventing murders of Mobutu and etc. That's his boy. He's the security guy. That's him today. That's dad. Love you, dad. So now my dad meets my mom when he's probably 27 and she's 17 or 18. And he's like, yo, that's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Here they are at that time. And at that time, my dad is very, very, very rich and powerful. And he falls in love with my mom. And he's like, I want to meet your mom. I want to meet your mom because I want to marry you. And I want to have kids. One of them, we can name him Edward. So my mom, at 18 or 17, I don't know, 18, she goes to her mom and she says, yo, I'm in love with this guy. And I want to introduce you to him. And my grandma says, oh, hell no. He works for the guy who tried to kill your adoptive dad. And of course, my grandpa says, oh, fuck no. He works for the guy who tried to kill me. How you gonna fall in love with this guy? This is Game of Thrones. How you wanna be with a guy? Listen, my grandma says that this guy who, wait, let me find the photo of my dad and me. Where's this photo? It's actually one of my favorite photos. Where is this photo? Did I lose that photo? Don't worry. Did I scroll too fast? Lord, where's this photo? Because this is the crazy part of the story, right? There it is. My grandma tells my mom that this guy on the left, which is my dad, this is me. This guy works for Mobutu, this guy. And this guy is a spy that has been sent to make you fall in love so he can make sure that he control the daughter of the person that he just tried to murder a few years ago. So no, you cannot be with him because we are enemies of the state. And you cannot get married with this guy. This is a trick. Don't fall for it. And you know what my mom did? She said, fuck y'all, I'm getting married. It's like, yo. She changed her name. She removed Ndele from her name, which is my grandfather's name, who adopted her. She goes back to Njoli, which is my grandmother's name. And she gets married to my dad, who works for the guy who is now the big king. And listen, from my mom's point of view, right? Every time my grandma was going to Mobutu telling him, yo, what are you doing? We are boys. Like, imagine you a group of people who grew up together. One of you becomes super powerful and rich. The other one becomes super powerful and rich too. But the one is like, yo, listen, it's the same thing in music. I remember when Nichols was obsessed or with being the number one. And I was like, bro, who cares who's number? Nah. I'm gonna be number one. You gotta be number two or whatever. Fuck you, number one. I'm number two. Listen. I was like, bro, I don't do this to be number one or two. I don't care about that. I want to do my music, make my money, have fun. Being number one, yeah, it's cool, but I'm here for the longevity, not to be number one for 6 months. And Nichols was obsessed with being number one. I don't have these problems. So, listen, fame, power, money, women corrupts the hearts of men. And this is a crazy story because my mom ended up marrying my dad. And my grandma is against it. And my grandpa, of course, is against it. And then, yeah, with time, everybody ended up realizing that, yeah, it was true love. They got married, got kids, etc., etc. And actually, maybe, I don't know. I have to ask my dad. Maybe is also why, at a point, my dad being now the husband of your daughter, maybe he's also preventing people to come after you. See what I mean? And maybe telling his boss, yo, that's my father-in-law now, so chill. Yeah, but he's richer than me. Yo, I got this. Leave him alone. And at a point, my father was powerful enough to control the secret services and stuff anyway. So nobody would try to do something against his father-in-law. So listen, those stories are crazy. Can't wait for my dad to write his memoirs. Now, imagine now, my mom is telling me this story, right? How crazy it is that after, you remember the episode of me and Bonnie, right? So if you remember, we did a Club Shada special with Bonnie, who is one of my best friends and the people we grew up together all this time, right? And yeah, we had our own Club Shada a few times. Now imagine that Bonnie was adopted by Mobutu, and me and her became the best of friends and we lived together at a point. I recorded, I produced my second album. I did the programming of my album in her bedroom where I had all my material when I was living in her house. When Mobutu was at the end of his reign, this is my sister, right? And if you remember the episode, what episode of Club Shada was it? I don't remember. Let me see. Let me find it. Let me find her Instagram. Bonnie the Queen. That's not her. Is it her birthday already? What is her? Queen Bonnie? I don't find her Instagram. Anyway, imagine that. So let me find Club Shada. So Club Shada Sing Bonnie. For those who didn't see that episode, this is the episode where we talk about so this is her, and this is the episode where we talk about, you know, her growing up and being adopted by Mobutu and all the stuff. And that's an amazing episode. You should watch it. It's Club Shada number 278. Now, how is it crazy? How crazy it is that me and her become best friends, homies, when her adoptive father tried to murder my adoptive grandfather. And yo, listen, the best part, where are the photos from my birthday? Because you have to see when I celebrated my 50th birthday, right? There was a guy who was there, right? So let me find 22nd of January. Okay. So let me go through my photos from my birthday and imagine that. Where is he? All right. You have to look at this photo. Now, let me explain to you the backstory. About 15 years ago, or maybe more, I get invited to do a show in Miami, Florida, and I get presented with the keys of the city, and I get, like, you know, honored in Miami. I do a show at the Marlin Hotel in South Beach, and the girl who organized the show, who's the promoter who does events out there in Miami, her name is Solange Kabamba. All right, listen. Me, I have no clue. I just go do my show, get my money, When then we chill together with my manager. She tell me, oh, I'm Congolese. Oh, you Congolese? Me, So, you know, cool. And then she introduced me to her little brother. Her little brother, who is named Jack. And we call him J Money. J Money introduced me to Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva is now... Hey, what happened? Photos. Bodhisattva is introduced to me by J Money. J Money becomes one of my best friends. Bodhisattva too. And J Money is the son of the person who saved my grandfather. He's the son of the one who went to exile in Miami for saving my grandpa. And now, me, the daughter of the guy who tried to murder my grandpa, and the son of the one who saved him, we are all friends. And we are best friends. Life is like a Zairian Game of Thrones. This is crazy. This is crazy. Can you imagine?